3 Chinese warships push past Japan's southern flank. Just as Tokyo warns Beijing over Taiwan and pleads for stronger US backing. A tense triangle emerges. China issues threats, Japan protests, and Washington stays cautiously quiet as regional friction accelerates. Beijing sent a Type 55 destroyer fleet to the south of Japan on December 2nd, according to Tokyo, just days after comments about Taiwan from Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi drew a strong reaction from Beijing. Japan's Defense Ministry said on December 3rd that 3 Chinese ships, including a Type 55 destroyer, had passed through waters south of Kagoshima on Kyushu Island on December 2nd before travelling through the Osumi Strait into the Pacific Ocean.
The 3 ships passed through the southern Kyushu waters twice via the same road. The first ship, identified as the Type 55 destroyer Anshin, was confirmed to have passed alone. It was followed by a Type 54 guided missile frigate and a Type 903 replenishment ship.
The ministry added Japan sent 3 ships to follow and photographed the Chinese ships from a distance, and concluded that the warships maintained normal speeds throughout and did not engage in any threatening behaviour. The transit came just 4 days after Prime Minister Takaichi commented on Taiwan, drawing strong opposition from Beijing. On December 4th, China's Foreign Vice Minister Sun Weidong reportedly summoned Japanese Ambassador Kenji Kanasugi, expressing strong dissatisfaction and opposition to Takaichi's remarks. Chinese Defense Ministry spokesperson Zhang Bin on December 5th said,
"The Japanese leader's erroneous remarks on Taiwan are a blatant interference in China's internal affairs and send a seriously wrong signal to the Taiwan independence forces. If Japan dares to take risks, or even intervene militarily in the Taiwan Strait situation, it will inevitably suffer a crushing defeat and pay a heavy price before the impregnable wall of the China People's Liberation Army."
Chinese warships have crossed the Osumi Strait in the past, including on October 31st and November 8th, bringing the number of times PLA warships have passed through the strait this year to more than 10. The Osumi Strait, lying between the southern tip of Kyushu and Tanegashima Island, is about 40 kilometers wide, with most of it in international waters. Japan has urged the US to give Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi more public support after expressing frustration at the level of backing she received following comments about Taiwan that enraged China. According to current and former US and Japanese officials, Tokyo thinks top US officials have not offered enough support for Japan after China lashed out at Takaichi for saying a Chinese attack on Taiwan could pose an existential threat that would justify Japan deploying its military. Shigeo Yamada, Japan's ambassador in Washington, has asked the Trump administration to step up its public support for Tokyo, according to people familiar with the diplomatic discussions. Takaichi on December 7th said Chinese warplanes had locked their radars onto Japanese fighter jets southeast of Okinawa on December 6th, in what she described as an extremely regrettable incident.
Japan has strongly protested to the Chinese side, and we firmly requested measures to prevent recurrence. We will respond calmly and resolutely.
Washington has offered some support to Takaichi with George Glass, ambassador to Japan, last month telling reporters Trump and his team have her back. But there has been little other direct public support. The crisis in Japan-China relations comes as Trump has told his team not to take actions that could jeopardize the trade deal he reached with Chinese President Xi Jinping in October. Speaking to Financial Times, one Japanese official told,
"Tokyo did not believe the US was wavering in its commitment to Japan. There was deep disappointment at the lack of public support from top officials in Washington."
Christopher Johnstone, a former top White House Japan official, said,
"Washington should have welcomed Takaichi's declaration that Japan would help US forces if they were attacked while defending Taiwan from China. This was the clearest statement ever made by a Japanese prime minister about Japan's obligations to the US during a Taiwan contingency."
This week, Chris Landau, Deputy Secretary of State, spoke to Takahiro Funakoshi, head of the Japanese Foreign Ministry. The State Department said he reaffirmed the US commitment to the alliance, but the call readout did not mention the aggressive Chinese response to Takaichi's statement.